What's up guys, Rob here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is going to be a movie review of one of my favorite found footage horror films. Now, I know what you're going to say. Found footage, it's been done to death, demons, ghosts, whatever. That's not the case with this movie. Okay, I love this movie. This movie was not only different, but it had a great story that combines horror and adventure, mystery, even like treasure hunting. I mean, it's almost like Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider mixed with like The Descent in a way. I mean, that's what it feels like, but found footage style. And the movie is As Above, So Below. You can actually watch this movie on Netflix right now, but I was blown away by this film on the detail of you know, what the main character was after in this story. It's a 2014 American horror film directed by John Dowdle, I guess that's how you say it, co-written by his brother Drew. Like I said, it's presented in found footage, like a found footage documentary of a crew's experience on exploring the catacombs in Paris, which are real. I mean, you can actually go into the catacombs located underneath Paris. And what's interesting about this movie is I've seen YouTube videos of people doing this, but I guess there is a secret way to get into the catacombs that is located under this bridge or something like that. And there's this little hole that you have to jump down into and kind of duck and crawl in underneath, and then you're in the catacombs. And they use that same entrance in this movie, so it's real. That entrance does exist. And what's really cool, the film was shot in the real catacombs. I mean, to do so, they needed the permission of the French authorities, obviously, because, you know, you can't just go down there and film without... And there are certain parts of the catacombs that you can actually go into, and there's certain parts that you can't, from what I understand. You know, you can take... There's tours that, you know, people take you on down there, but there are actually people who go down into the catacombs and just relax and hang out. I mean, like I said, I've seen YouTube videos. This guy with a camera, he'll go down there and there's people down there just hanging out. I mean, on the walls there'll be like graffiti and stuff like that, but it's like, you know, they say if the cops catch you, you get in serious trouble. But it's this secret place, and I'm just surprised that no one has, like, even the authorities have not sealed that shut. But the catacombs are so large that if they did that, they'd probably be afraid that someone would be down there and they'd barricade them in and they can't get out, obviously, unless they did a huge search. But man, I mean, catacombs, it's crazy claustrophobic. This movie is claustrophobic because I hate tight spaces. You know, cave dwelling and all that stuff. That's why The Descent bothers me. That movie bothers me, not the creatures, but the fact that, you know, they're going through these tight little spaces and trying to squeeze through in these caves, and they get stuck and they can't breathe. They start hallucinating and all that stuff. That's me. That'd be me. Especially in this movie. There's a couple of parts where they're crawling through this tiny little hole and there's bones, and they're crawling over these bones trying to get to the other side. And I don't remember what his name was. Edwin Hodge. He's from the Purge series, by the way. Edwin Hodge, he freaks out in this movie. And, you know, he's like, oh, I can't, I'm stuck, and they're trying to help him. He's like, just go, just get out of my way, just go, come on, keep moving forward. He's like, I can't go nowhere. That'd be me. I'd be like, go! Get out of my way. That would be me. Okay, I'd be telling him to get the hell out of my way. But this movie stars Perdita Weeks, who was in Ready Player One as Kira, I didn't know that. I actually didn't recognize her. But she is the main girl in this. You also have Ben Feldman, and of course he was in Cloverfield. He wasn't in much. In Cloverfield, he was right in the beginning. He shows up at the party with Odette Yesman, and then he leaves. But he had a pretty good part in Friday the 13th, 2009 remake. He's the one that gets the machete to the head right in the beginning, after he got done, you know, having sex with the girl who is now being burned alive in a sleeping bag hanging above the fire. You know, that's him. He's in this movie. He does a really good job in this movie, actually. I actually believed his performance. He seemed... Actually, what's interesting about this is he suffered from claustrophobia. I mean, he let the director know that when they were filming this, because like I said, they filmed this in the real catacombs, but he had to take breaks, numerous breaks, okay, in this while shooting this, to actually cope with the claustrophobia. Now I'm not sure if they actually got it on film, his actual reactions, because like I said, I believed every time he was scared or he was just like looking around and he just, you know, he was sitting there breathing heavy and stuff like that. He would like be sitting down and like, no, I'm not going farther. I'm not going in there. You could tell it was bothering him. And that's why I believed in his performance. I think that was a good idea. Even though I kind of know what he's going through. If it was me, I'd have to cope with it too. If he said action, let's start doing this scene, I'd be like, just, we'll go when I go. How about that? After I stop crying like a little girl, then we can start shooting. That's what I'd be like. The movie had, let's see, it had a $5 million budget, and it made about $42 million, close to about 42. But it was so hard to get props and equipment down to where they were. I mean, it was a mess. There was no electricity. No phone service, even though there is a part in this movie where a phone rings down in the catacombs. A phone. But they had nothing really, so they had to like use their environment. They had to kind of, just kind of play with what they had, actually. There was hardly any props or anything to work with, but it was cool. But the story is, what's her name? Perdita Weeks plays Scarlett, and she's really, really obsessed, okay, with trying to find the legendary Philosopher's Stone, which is actually based on some truth. I believe it was based on some guy from the 17th century. I think it's like, his name is like Nicholas Flamel or something. They go over... There's another stone in this movie called the Flamel Stone, I believe, and because they claim that Flamel had the Philosopher's Stone, or he found it, and so he set up. There's certain things that he set up, like where the stone actually was. So it became like a witch hunt or like a treasure hunt, so to say. Yeah, but it was based on some truth around that. But she's searching for it because her father was very, very interested in it. So something happens, tragic to her father. So she continues his work, basically, and she becomes, obsessed with it. And she learns that the Philosopher's Stone is located beneath Paris in the catacombs. And so that's when she goes to Ben Feldman's character, and he's very smart. She goes to him to find out some information. He goes with her because they had this thing in the past, and then they get a team together to go down there and go through the catacombs. But they start to run into problems. They start getting further and further down into nowhere, and they start seeing things and hearing things, and they come up to like this wall. And there's some kind of scripture that says if you go in there, you won't come back. And they're like, do not go in there. And it's like, you will lose your mind. So, and the whole point of it is like when they go in there, they start seeing things that happened in the past. Tragic things. The whole point of it is to confront your demons, to confront your fears. That is exactly what happens in this movie. They confront their worst fears or their tragedies that have happened. There's some very cool imagery in this, and some really creepy moments. But like I said, it goes from like being a survival film to like a horror film to then like I want to say like an action adventure almost. Like, and there's some thriller stuff in there as well, but like, you know, it's like they're searching for treasure, and they go into this treasure room, there's gold, and then there's the stone and stuff like that. It's all different kinds of genres mixed into one. I mean, but it is a horror film. But that's just kind of cool. That's why I like it's different. Can you just imagine Indiana Jones being like this? I mean, that would be crazy. But the stone is actually capable of turning base metals into gold and silver, which you get to see some gold and silver in this movie. You see some treasure. But the stone also is able to grant eternal life. So they say. Now, there's a couple instances in this film where someone gets hurt and the stone actually helps them heal. So the stone does have some, I want to say, magical capabilities. And I do wish they would have went further into that a little bit. I wish they would have maybe, you know, I wish there was more info on that. I wish they would have kind of explored that idea a little bit more, because that was interesting. You know, when the crew runs into trouble, people start dying off one by one. They confront their own fears and stuff like that. And like I said, I love the ending to this movie. It almost reminds me of Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. When Indiana Jones has to take a leap of faith, and he steps off the cliff and there's an invisible bridge. There's a part in here that reminds me of that, where they have to jump down this hole, and they say, we have to jump down here, we have to prove ourselves, we have to have faith, we have to prove ourselves worthy. And Ben Feldman's like, it's not going to work, we're going to die. So they jump down this huge hole, and they take a leap of faith. Exactly what happens in The Last Crusade. So, but I love the ending. There's kind of like I wouldn't say it's a twist, but there's kind of the way it ends, I love it. Because as you can see, everything's upside down, as above, so below, and that's really true when it comes to that. The only way out is down, and that's the kind of thing too in this movie. You see them going further and further down. You're like, wait a minute, shouldn't you be going up? Because you keep going farther down, you're just going to get more lost. But as above, so below. To go up, you have to go down. So it's you know, it kind of messes with your mind a little bit. I really like that. You know, in the long run, this movie had the claustrophobic aspect, had the horror aspect, the creepy imagery, and I loved every minute of it. This is, in my opinion, this is a found footage film done right. And I'd say my favorite found footage film is The Blair Witch Project, because it kind of started that whole genre where it just went nuts after that. But this is one that I haven't enjoyed a really good found footage film in a long time. This is definitely one that, you know, I thought was really, really excellent. And, you know, 2014, I can't say that I've seen a lot of great found footage films. So, anyway, that is my review of As Above, So Below. If you have not seen it, check it out. Like I said, it's on Netflix right now. If you have Netflix, go watch it. Tell me what you think of this movie. Like I said, I think it's one of the best found footage films out there. So it's got some good features here too. They kind of go over the whole thing about As Above, So Below, like what the whole point of that is. You know, shooting in the catacombs and things like that. And like I said, go on YouTube. You will see video. You can see videos of people going in the catacombs, going in the same entrance they do in this movie, going in that little hole. Those of you who live in Paris or have been there, like in the catacombs and stuff, probably know what I'm talking about, that area. It's just weird, like I said, that they don't have like any security around there or anything like that. People are just able to do it. You would think the authorities would know about it. But anyway, awesome movie. Definitely check it out. Definitely one of my favorites. So hope you enjoyed this review of As Above, So Below. Like I said, tell me what you think in the comments about the movie, and I'll be back with more movie reviews coming up soon. So this is Rob signing off. I'll see you guys next time.